Yo, what's up guys, Ame here. It's been a long while since I've sat down to just talk like this outside of my regular videos. Since my New Year video, in fact. But I figured this was perfect since there's a few things I want to talk about, and this can serve as a sort of impromptu mid-year update as such. Firstly, I'm not sure how I'm going to organize these videos yet, but either just before or just after this update video, I should have my very first showdown video going up on the channel. Yes, after mentioning it for a long time, I'm finally trying to dive back into competitive, which will be a first for this channel too. So far, I've stuck to playthrough content and I've had a great time, but I've always had the intention of getting back into competitive Pokemon, and I feel as though doing it for the channel is the best way to do that. Any more details and specifics I want to cover at the beginning of the first showdown video, which avoids me yapping about it too much here. So secondly, I've had two series on the channel which have been going on for a long time now. Those of course being Heart Gold Ultra and then my Legends ZA playthrough. Now really, both of these series have suffered from my circumstances, with hiatuses and such. Heart Gold Ultra has moved into the Kanto arc now, and to be honest, each episode is banger after banger, so that I'd recommend highly. However, the reason I'm bringing them up obviously isn't just to shamelessly plug. Without spoiling too much, both series are now slowly beginning to head towards their close, which is crazy to me to think since they've been the main content here for so long, but it is certainly the case. The reason I'm speaking with such certainty, which anyone who's been watching either series would know, is because both of the series have already been bulk recorded for a long time. Heart Gold Ultra Kanto through December into January, and ZA mostly up to February and into March. As such, I know exactly how many episodes are left on each. Obviously, because of this, I have to think about what to do for the channel as the two main series are coming towards their end. Firstly, as much as it's a minor change, I do want to mention this regardless. For a while, I've managed to be uploading every 2 days, usually alternating between Heart Gold Ultra and ZA. However, as of ZA Part 21 going up just recently, I'm now switching to uploading every 3 days. Being upfront, it just became too much stress to try and meet a 2-day upload cycle. I so far have done my recording in longer sessions, let's say. That's something I'll get back to, but it's not just this fact which has made things difficult for me. If the extent of my editing for my playthrough parts just consisted of me trimming the beginning and the end and calling it a day, it would be easy and both series would already be completing up. But I can't do that. I like to edit my videos to not only make it a nicer watching experience, but also for a twist on something older. Playthrough content has always existed for Pokemon on YouTube, but I like having the ability to do something different and have the potential to add my own creativity, etc. So, as you can imagine, doing what editing I can, when the footage for each part is usually 2 to 4 hours, it takes a long time to edit and get each part out. YouTube is of course just a hobby for me, so I only have so many hours free in my day. Therefore, while the simple solution may seem to be don't edit as much, it's part of my creative process that I don't want to compromise on. And so as such, I'm taking the approach of switching my upload schedule to every 3 days. And I have to say, it is crazy what a difference is already made. As I'm speaking right now, it is June 6th, and I have both Heart Gold Ultra and ZA episodes already uploaded and scheduled until pretty much July. It is crazy the pressure it lifts off of me, now giving me much more leeway in what I do. So, with all those updates out the way, let's talk about the future. Well, in full transparency, now that I've moved to 3-day uploads for my main 2 series, they will last longer than I expected initially. Continuing on my current schedule, I worked it out and they will continue going up until sometime in early August. But that said, being able to get far more ahead with editing now, it gives me far more freedom to commit to other videos. So for a start, that's why I'm finally ready to jump into showdown content to kick off competitive Pokemon for the channel. The way I want to do things, I want to record showdown in shorter sessions than my usual videos, which will make it much easier for me to handle editing, etc. alongside the usual stuff. Therefore, at least for now, I'm not going to set myself an upload schedule for showdown or competitive videos. When I get them ready, I'll have them go up on some of the days between the usual 2 series. Showdown content is fairly easy for me to do and I'm super excited for it. So hopefully I can get it up onto the channel somewhat frequently depending on how busy I am. On top of that, I would like to try and get back to making some other more variety Pokemon content. For example, a month or so ago, I had my first more highly edited essay, I guess, in quotation marks, type of content go up, which was my Volcanion rant video. Which is ironic I call it that in a sense, because that was actually somehow an unscripted video. I was just so mad about the entire Volcanion situation that it literally just came straight from the dome. Anyway, while that video did take a lot of time for me to put together, it was definitely a fun and creative effort. Plus, I did recently come up with one more idea for a similar highly edited video and potentially a second one too. As well as that, I did do some other smaller things like the Pokemon Cry Challenge video a long time ago. So with more time as I get ahead of schedule of editing, I'd like to come up with more ideas for fun Pokemon videos in general, whether challenge videos or something more edited and intensive. Apologies if this ends up being a longer update video than usual because I feel as though it has so far. So that being said, let's move on to the final topic. And that's what comes beyond the end of the two main series we have going on. Well, as much as I've gone on about wanting to move into finally doing competitive content among other things, I have no intention of playthrough or Nuzlocke content going anywhere. Previously, I was unsure of what to do because besides the obvious of doing a Wind and Waves playthrough when Gen 10 dropped next year, as well as another project for next year, which I can't talk about yet because spoilers, I had no specific plans. However, after speaking with some people, if plans go correctly and smoothly, I should have something ready for immediately after Heart Gold Ultra ends, which is super exciting. I won't spoil what it is, of course, but I will say I am super hyped for it to drop. I likely won't get a trailer up for it like I did with the Kanto arc for Heart Gold Ultra. Instead, I'll just drop it suddenly when the other things have wrapped up, which will be cool. Now, I'm sure I'll talk about it at the beginning of said series when it drops. However, I will say now, I want to use that series as a test of a few things. I want to try, firstly, shorter episodes or parts. This will firstly make it easier to both edit and record, but I do also want to see if it makes a difference on how the videos perform. Because on my end, it will certainly make things much easier. It'll be easier to sit down and record each session. It'll be easier to edit each part because it's not going to be as many hours of footage. And hopefully it would also mean I wouldn't run into any storage issues, which is something I've had in the past. So on my end in general, it would just be better. So I would like to do that. And if the videos also perform better, which they could do, because to be honest, the idea of clicking on a part which is under an hour is probably less daunting for someone who's new. So I want to try it and I want to see how the videos perform as well. Then I do want to try other things too, such as, let's say, swearing less, as I realize it's something I'm bad with, and I'm curious to see if that affects the performance of the video and YouTube pushing them as well. We have had a few people come by and subscribe recently, which is great, and I love you guys, but this is obviously still a very small channel. So I want to see if any changes I can make will affect both how easily I can get content up, but also how the videos perform. The results of that will help me make my decision on the channel moving forwards. With all that finally said, I believe that covers everything for a bigger than expected mid-year channel update. Apologies again for this going on longer than I thought it would, but if I'm doing this, I'd rather make sure I cover everything and anything I'd want to. As usual, thank you to anyone who stops by, even if just to watch or see one video. All support is greatly appreciated as I do put all the time I can into whatever I decide to make. Some videos recently have definitely been pushed out to more people than usual, and some people have stuck around, so I can't thank you guys enough. I'm not sure exactly when I'm going to be able to get this video up, but Heart Gold Ultra episode 25 will be dropping on the 9th of June, and it is a fun one. As I said, I'm unsure on how Showdown content is going to be organized. There should be the first Showdown video either just before or after this update video. Anyway guys, that's all for now. While I may have small reach, I do find it useful to get my thoughts down on video like this, and ultimately it helps me commit towards goals as I move forwards. Thank you as always for anyone watching, and I'll catch you soon for some more Heart Gold Ultra. Until next time.